Very good morning to all. Today we will discuss about interconnection structures in multiprocessors. Let me see here, ma. The components that form a multiprocessor systems are CPUs, central processing unit, input-output processors, connected to input output devices. As everyone knows that we already studied in unit 4, input output processors. These are specially meant for transferring the input and output data, and a memory unit. The interconnection between the components can have a different physical configurations depending on the number of transfer paths that are available. Okay, so these interconnection structures is nothing but we already know that there are components like multiprocessors, CPUs, IOPs, input output devices, and memory. How these are physically connected, so that it will be working as a multiprocessor system. So for that, we have a how we have a physical connection between a processor and a memory in a shared memory, and among the processing element in a loosely coupled system. Okay, so there are several physical forms available for establishing an interconnection network. So these are some: time shared common bus, multi-port memory, crossbar switch, multi-stage switching network, hypercube system. So let me start with the time shared common bus. Okay, so what is this? Why we are studying this interconnection network is that, as a multiprocessor system will have a multiple CPUs, we have an IOPs connected to input output devices, we have a memory. How these are physically connected so that it will be working as a multiprocessor system? For that, we add several physical forms that are available. In that, these are some of them. So in that, we are starting with a time shared common bus. So let me start with this time shared common bus. So what is this time shared common bus? Is a common bus will be a common bus multiprocessor system consists of number of processors connected through a common path to a memory unit. If I show this diagram so that you can understand, so this is your time shared common bus organization. So in this you will have a multiple we have in this diagram multiple processors and IOP1 and IOP2. So this all these processors are connected with a common bus, and here we have a shared memory. Okay, so we already studied about a shared memory and a distributed memory. Here we have a shared memory. This shared memory is used by all the processors here. Okay, now let us consider CPU2 is using this common bus. Okay, so it is using this common bus for transferring a data, or for processing the data, for whether it is storing the data or whether it is taking the data from the memory. CPU2 is using. Okay, so if it is using, internally it will give a signal saying that it is busy. So if it is busy, let us suppose at the same time the other processor even wants to get some data from the memory or want to access some data in that. So it first checks the availability of the bus. And if it is shows if this shows that it is busy, then what processor one will do? Processor one will be in a waiting state until processor 2 completes its work. Okay, so once the CPU 2 completes, it gives a signal that it is finished. So once it is finished, it gives internally it will give a green signal saying that bus is available. So once bus is available, CPU 1 can use this for transferring the data or for taking for reading the data. Okay, so in this way we are having a time shared common bus. Okay, so can anyone tell me what's the drawback in this time shared common bus? In this, if one processor wants to communicate with memory, or if one processor wants to communicate with the other processor with the help of a single common bus, only one can be in a active. So only one processor can use this system bus, while the other processor will be in the idle state, or it may execute its internal operations based on the internal registers. Okay, but if it is not doing its internal operations maximum, what happens, ma'am? It will be in an idle state. So that's a drawback in this time shared common bus. So we are going for what? System bus structure for multiprocessors. Okay, system bus structure for multiprocessors. So try to understand where we have the here is only the disadvantage is only one processor can communicate with memory or another processor at any given time. Okay, so what is happening here? The overall transfer rate within the system is limited by the speed of a single path. Okay, so we are going for a system bus structure. So in this system bus, what is happening is, let us consider if a processor, consider this as 1, this as 2, this as 3. If this processor wants to access a common shared memory, okay, try to concentrate. The difference between the previous diagram and the present diagram is that here all the processors are connected with a common bus, and if any processor wants to communicate with memory, definitely with this common bus the processors has to communicate. And if cpu2 is using currently, let us suppose, and remaining processors has to wait until this processor completes. Okay, whereas here each and every processor has its own local memory. So see here, this processor has a local memory, this processor have a local memory, this also have a local memory. Okay, and these are connected with a local bus. So here we have a local bus, here we have a local bus. Okay, for let us suppose, when a processor is executing the instructions which are present in this local bus, let us suppose a processor wants to execute by saying after decoding it, it wants to access a common shared memory. So what it will do, with the help of a system bus controller, it will give a request to the system bus controller, and system bus controller with the help of a system bus, will give will grant the processor, and processor can access a common shared memory. Okay, so the system bus controller will after some periodical time interval, it will try to give an access to the processor who is requesting. Okay, so the advantage of this is, whenever a system bus is busy with the other processors, let us suppose this processor is using a system bus for accessing the common shared memory, the other processors are not waiting, the other processors are not idle. Why? Because the other processors having their own local memory, so that they can execute the other task while it is busy. Once it is free, then the processor can give an access to the system bus for accessing the common shared memory. Okay,